guys, alright. Guess what? Yes, 3.19 is live. And I believe you can actually download it. Yes, you can. You can download it. It went live about 17 minutes ago, apparently. So, like, we're really, like, fresh off the presses here. Let's go through the patch notes. Let's break it all down, although we pretty much know what's in this patch because, well, we've been covering it. But let's go through and give you guys the full patch notes. And, yeah. So, database reset, yes. Resetting player locations for new player experience. Long-term persistence is enabled, and the starting UEC is $20,000. So I'm not sure if this means we lose everything or we just lose the money and the starting locations. I'll have to check that. I'll check it before we wrap this thing up. 9 issues. Unstoked player ships must be claimed after a 30k. So I have realized that this is a thing. Obviously, that screenshot function is not working with pairs. So at least they're acknowledging it. So that's a good thing. FPS weapons are selling for much lower than intended. That's not a bug. That's a feature. Ships can explode from collisions with invisible asteroids. Someone's cloaking asteroids. Expanse. Player corpses will not despawn at Grimhex. Art assets will clip through the train during the journey in Lawville. Never had that, but yeah. The entrance of Lawville Hospital has a large viz area issue. Substance items lack store option when carrying them. Players cannot see partied player ships when quantum linking together. The Hornet and Glaive currently have budgeted high forward thrust. Salvage scanning. Salvage scrap metals are not properly detected by ship scanners. Rest shops are Area L4 design transit locations. L4 has a transit? Players are unable to call elevators. Okay, elevators. Yeah. Players are unable to call elevators from rest stop refinery. That could be an issue. Multi-locations. So pharmacy kiosks use interface and interactions are misaligned. Weapon features, gang code, tractor beam. If you activate the tractor beam in the hangar, you can bring an active tractor beam back into the armistice zone. Aegis Reclaimer. Ships, vehicles, ship features, Reclaimer have no rear elevator interaction for ship exterior. So, yeah, so that's the Reclaimer. Has no rear access in the elevator. Cargo Mole. The interactional prompts for all mining turrets are easy to miss. They're misaligned, blah, blah, blah. The hover quad is the vehicle spawns slightly stuck in the ground. Multi-vehicle mining UI is appearing in low res. Racing locations, a specific rock formation on the Yada Valley race tracks are invisible to some players and not others. Crusader SPK, Cortec physics, transitioning from EVA onto Kraya's landing pads has a high chance of instantly killing the player. That could be an issue. Transit at Area 18, shuttles. Players are falling through them, sometimes disappearing trams and shuttles to their deaths. RSI Constellation Multivariant. Snub fighters lack the interaction prompts still. Location Air Corp Crusader Area 18. Transit systems. The trams are out of sync with the station timers. And Security Post Cryo mission content. Contraband screens have a viz issue. So, before we get into the features, everybody's probably going to be wondering, why are they rushing this patch out? Because it is rushed. Why are they rushing it out when they still have a few days before Invictus Week, right? Invictus Week doesn't start till Friday. They could have easily waited till Thursday to put this patch out, and it's only Tuesday in America. The reason, I think, is because they don't want another repeat of 318. They want to give themselves a few days grace so that if there is some major issues like in 318, they don't have to worry about affecting the show. So that it's smart, and they're basically giving themselves a grace period. I would probably expect to maybe see a point patch after Invictus Week, and maybe during Invictus, but most likely after, because they'll want to remove the studio or the show anyway. So it's most likely going to be a 0.1 patch, I would say, my guess. I'm just guessing here, but I would say expect a 0.1 patch, which will probably have some more bug fixes in it. Mission salvage contracts tier 0. Adding additional contracts to the PU. This is a new contract called Salvage Resource Rush. Is a mission where fractions and mission givers request the scrapping of derelict or husks in their possession, either on the ground at a junkyard or in the space in debris fields. I've never seen them on the ground, but definitely in space. Players accept the mission are tasked to scrap the derelict to the best of their ability and sell the RMC to a shop. Now, from my understanding, you can only sell it at TDDs. Okay? So you can't just go to as far as I know, unless it's changed, you can't just go to a station and sell it. You do need to go to a major landing zone. Okay? Lawful missions, obviously there's the lawful ones, and then there's obviously the unlawful missions where, for example, you've got like 30 minutes to go and scrap as much as you can before the enemy shows up, or the police show up. So, look, the salvage missions are a load of fun. They are frigging amazing. I love them. So, yeah. Alright, guys. Ghost Hello Reclaimer PvP mission. Adding the new mission type to the Ghost Hello Crasher on Microtech. Making use of the comm array as well as the AI nav mesh. The mission type will create PvP encounters where players will need to fight for control over terminals. I have seen a few people play this. From my understanding, once you've done the mission, there's like an hour reset before you can do it again. And you can make about 200k. So a lot of people are saying that there's a big delay between resets. And it's just, yeah, considering you can make like that sort of money doing mining, especially at the moment. Yeah. New player experience. Obviously, the initial for improvement. An initiative for improving the initial first 30-minute gameplay experience, which help players understand the context of the world. Introduces to some of Star Citizen basic features. So this obviously is starting at Area 18. You get a ship that is rented to you for free, which is the Pisces, and it allows you to go up to the space station. Now, they have said that obviously they will be upgrading this in the future. There are a couple of things at the moment where, like, for example, you can't actually go through and it doesn't tell you about putting your helmet on. So there are a few things they need to improve on, but it's a good start. It's definitely a good start. Then obviously one of the big things besides salvage is Lawville 2.0. Major rework of the Lawville skyline to better fit the scale of the city. Look, it adds, obviously they've added volumetric clouds, performance polish. They've moved the location of Area 18 ASOPs to closer to the hangars, and they've updated the building block shop UI for Casablanca and Dumper Depot. I haven't actually seen that yet. Dumper Depot for the specific styles. Also, they've done the mining kiosks too. Some of the refineries and cargo decks. AI FPS combat balance. With 319 comes quality of life of the FPS AI, accuracy and behavior. This is intended to make the AI feel a bit more realistic, lifelike in some ways, forgiving without pinpoint deadly accuracy all the time. So they're no longer going to John Wick you, for example. Which is something that has caused many of us as frustration while clearing up baddies from the underground facilities. Yeah, the amount of times I've been John Wicked by an NPC is ridiculous. But it's a good challenge. NPCs should now have a better range of accuracy modifiers, which will ramp up accuracy based on many factors, like seeing the loss of sight target, like seeing and losing sight of target, how long the enemy and its target after regaining sight on them, mercy times to assist in how much of a threat and target, and their loadouts. So it's looking like it's really, really good. It's giving them more of a realistic behavior, as they said. But yeah, like now they're not just going to John Wick you through a box. So that's definitely cool. Tractor beam, item attaching, they're probably the biggest thing in Star Citizen. So obviously you can now go through and break down components out of some ships. It's not all. It seems to be a lot of the later ships are fine, but obviously the ships that are the older ones obviously still don't have the components. Like, for example, the Cutlass doesn't have any components. The Caterpillar has the components there, but you can't seem to take them out. The Star Runner has all its components, and you can remove them. Although, when I did try it last time, there was a thing where the power supply was blocked by the door, and if you get it out, you can't put it back in. I'm not sure if they fixed that. But at the end of the day, yeah, it seems to be a lot of the ships post Star Runner onwards that have the components, which is cool. Mining balance, obviously version 1. With 3.19 comes both ships FPS mining with widespread balance changes. So now, obviously, the big thing about this is that certain rocks will be in certain locations because of certain conditions. You will be able to find rocks that are scattered around that you'll be able to just suck up with your mining laser without having to split them. But there is now going to be a wider range of rocks. Sometimes you do need a mole, and sometimes you will need multiple ships. So yeah, at the end of the day, it is literally going through and causing mining to be multi-crew. The mining passes, from what I've heard, are fantastic. They're absolutely great. But like I said, obviously there are going to be... They've also gone through and then changed the gadgets and heads and stuff like that. They've also gone through and changed all the densities and stuff of rocks and stuff. So they've done a whole mining pass, and from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are loving it. So obviously ship loading, resource distribution has been updated to reflect a more distinct distribution of minerals throughout the Stanton. It's basically what I'm talking about, like them being in certain locations. For example, like certain materials in certain areas. They have gone now and separated them into groups. So you've got like rare, very rare, common, stuff like that. Like, for example, you're most likely going to find iron on most places. But when it comes to, like, for example, Quantanium, it is extremely rare and hard to find. So keep that in mind. There is the new material for FPS mining called Janolite. I believe it's something like that. Janolite. It's extremely hard to find as well. And apparently you can sell it for a bit of money, they were saying. But I was watching Star Streamers doing it, and he was saying that the price wasn't that good. So let me know in the comments. Changes the mining updates. Okay, we've done that. Alright. Bug fixes. Players should now get a crash handler prompt if the client crashes. Fixed an issue causing players in a given instance to experience responsive latency of 12 seconds for interactions. Buying pharmacy items at Imperium Health should no longer result in invalid location. That's good to know. Player purchased vehicle components should no longer overwrite by stock components when claimed or destroyed. Fantastic. Fixed an issue causing ships to hit what seems like invisible boxes and kicking them into a random direction, although we've still got asteroids that are invisible. Entry dismount to the ladder should no longer clip the player through the ship's geometry. There should no longer be frequent pockets of extreme low client FPS performance at LZs and ships. Redeemer should no longer be missing collision on its floor. Reclaimer hatch can now be opened directly from the outside. Players should no longer asphyxiate from not wearing a helmet in the Hangar 13. EVA changes should no longer cause distortion and artifacts in the UI. Large amounts of cargo sold at once should no longer cause transaction to fail. That would be helpful. UEC balances should now synchronize to players after making transactions in game. Some of the section of Crusader C2 Hercules hull should no longer be extremely difficult and possible to salvage. Thank God. The bottom turret glass on the Carrack should no longer be difficult to see out of. Fix the Merlin being unable to dock from the Constellation. Oh, cool. Good to know. Fix missing delivery missions being unavailable to players. Elevators should no longer stop bullets from doing damage when passing through the open door. Fixed an issue causing players to be unable to unequip a helmet. Fixed issue causing players to be unable to drop a dead body while dragging it. Fixed an issue causing players to be unable. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Fixed an issue when a player is exiting the seat or targeting salvage mode while in gimbal mode. Would cause the gimbal mode to fail when they re-enter the pilot's seat. Okay. Fix an issue causing a ship parts to be duplicated when repairing a ship with no parts. Player purchase vehicle components overwritten in claim vehicle loadout should now be sold or unequipped. We mentioned that already. That's cool. So if you go through and buy new parts, they will be reapplied when you do a claim. Medical bay bed and screens should no longer obstruct hangars. Okay. The P6 sniper rifle and Gemini 3 should no longer be missing from the Star Marine loadout. Fixed reverse text in the pilot's cockpit. Fixed optimizing mining gadgets and not modifying resistance. Craycat STV speedometer should no longer be off-center when in its window. Delivery mission should no longer spawn more boxes than need to be delivered. Players should no longer be able to craft a free multi-tool from the fellow station. The disabled gravity prompt during the failed negotiation mission should no longer be unresponsive. Players should no longer suffocate when exiting the cutter ship bed after using lie down. Fix an issue causing some AI to walk in place. AI to walk in place? Right. I think I mean walk in the same spot, like moonwalk. Players should not be able to vault, climb, mantle into the side entrance of the Valkyrie. Players should now be able to. Yep, fantastic. Ground clutter rocks should no longer float above the ground. Fix an issue causing mineable resources or harvested not to be present in the sand caves. The frustrated with Kovacs delivery mission should no longer be missing half of its description. Area commander find a match button should no longer be grayed out until player switches game modes. They fixed 12 client crashes, 6 server crashes, a deadlock, a backend performance improvement, and a fixed NVIDIA specific client crash. Holy dooly. Right. Guys, at the end of the day, look, obviously this patch is fantastic. Hopefully it's going off without a hitch. Let's go and test and find out if we lost our inventory as well as our money. Alright guys, we are here in Star Citizen. Okay, so we have got a character reset, at least. Oof. That's not good. Skip. Character customizer. Accept. Save. Okay, so it comes up with an error. Alright guys, this is future me with the editing, and okay, so it took about 4 goes for this to go through. And let me do that. Right, so it took 4 goes for it to go through. Finally it did. I don't know if it's just because I was using best. I seem to be having some issues with best. But yeah, there was 4 times where I had to go into loading, go back, go in, go in. Eventually it came in. And let's just skip to that part because watching a loading screen is really, really boring. Alright, guys. It took 4 goes. And we're finally in. 4 goes and about 3 pages of the coding. Alright, so NPCs seem to be okay at the moment. Hi. Do you have a balloon? Oh, we got some popping.
Say what?
Balloon, motherfucker! Have you got a balloon?
I want a balloon. You got a balloon?
I'll give you a fucking balloon. Come down my sewer.
Oh, let's do it, baby girl. Come on, where you at?
I'm over here at Casa.
Alright, you've got me confused. I'm confused. There he goes. He's off again.
Alright, so I love stirring people in the game. It's fun with voice. Looks like we might have lost the weapons and like this is all. Oh no, I've had the P6 maybe. Yeah, I think I had more guns than this. I didn't play a lot of 318, so yeah. Moby glass. Yeah, it looks like we got a count, money reset and inventory set. So back to the grind. Alright guys, yeah, apart from that, obviously this is 319. We are in probably the worst spot, so let's do a FPS check. Right about mid-20s. It's not bad for Star Citizen. I haven't seen any NPCs standing on chairs, so that's interesting. The NPCs seem to be getting around actually normally, so yeah. I have not seen one NPC on a chair. Oh wow, no NPCs on chairs. Not that I can see. Oh. Do you work? You functioning? How about you? Oi. All these bar stuff look suspiciously similar.
Good one. Ease up, I'm in the middle of something.
You mind? Alright, so bar standards don't work. That's a small price to pay.
1 second, alright?
Or maybe he does. No, no. Small price to pay. Apart from that, guys, Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I have not seen any NPCs on chairs. So that is pretty cool. Yeah, let me know if you find any. Screenshot, preferably. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourself. And we will see you in the verse. And specifically, we'll see you when it comes to Fleet Week. Invictus Week. Have a good night, everybody, and enjoy.